Girl, when you get off the plane, run. I stepped off the plane into carnival fever. Even before my feet had touched the ground, I could feel the hot, pulsating beat of calypso music shoot like a bolt up the well which enthusiasm had pierced in my right leg. I was standing on the tarmac, almost dancing on one foot. We were 2 weeks away from carnival. Only 2 weeks before it exploded on the streets of Port of Spain. The pilot had told us to keep our safety belts fastened until we were advised to the contrary. When the plane stopped, we would be towed the rest of the way. Regulations, he assured us. But we didn't remain seated until advised to the contrary. Girl, when you get off the plane, run! Word had got around that the immigration officers at Piarco Airport were very thorough, a highly efficient group of employees who do not cut corners. If you found yourself near the end of the queue, more fool you. You could be there for hours. Ours was a full flight. Revelers would be flying in from all over the world in their thousands to enjoy the celebrations which have been dubbed the greatest show on earth. Unless you were holding a Trinidadian passport, the officials wanted to know all about you. It could be a very long and drawn-out affair. The word had got around. So despite the pleas of the flight captain and crew, we were on our feet, hand luggage and coats over our arms before the caution light had gone out. I heard afterwards that the sight of passengers rushing down the steps and running towards immigration was really something to behold. I was one of the first off the plane, but somehow the minute my feet touched Trinidadian soil, I forgot the warning. Girl, when you get off the plane, run. I mean, what do you expect? Well, what I expected was something more than cramp and backache when the initial reaction subsided. When the initial reaction had subsided, I almost hobbled to immigration. While I was doing my dance on the tarmac, the other passengers swept past. An hour later, I seemed to have made little progress. There were 2 officials dealing with passports. But since our queue was at least 3 times the length of the nationals, we wanted to believe help would be coming. At the very least, when all the holders of Trinidadian passports had been dealt with, he would come over to give us a hand. The air conditioning was not working, so the hall was like a torture chamber. We are talking of an island where the temperature is invariably in the 80s. The thought that they may have been attempting psychology on us passed like a slow train. Some sort of appetizer for the interrogation to follow. Beads of perspiration were running down my face and body. I felt as if I was going to faint. I wasn't sure I could take much more. Some relief came when thoughts suddenly took me back to much cooler times. That Sunday marked the first day of snow. I took it as an omen. Good for me, bad for them. While struggling with the lock on a suitcase, I heard whimpering coming from a corner of the room. It synchronized with 2 sets of groans being emitted from somewhere near the window. The friends taking me to the airport didn't much relish a journey from Oxford to Heathrow in weather like that. I offered a few words of sympathy, genuine sympathy. They are good friends. It wasn't going to be any joke. There was I flying off to soak in the Caribbean sunshine for 6 months, leaving them behind to battle with the elements. Tough, really tough. But, well, that's the way things are. So we moved carefully through the snow. We had hoped for better that Sunday. It had been bright up to the previous day. They were glum and silent. I was silent also, but my thoughts were naturally on other things. A carload of people wrapped in thoughts which could not keep us warm. I should have been cozy, snug, and smug, but I really could not believe it was going to be so easy. Was it really that easy? You tick off the days on a calendar, pack your things, and leave. The gods may yet demand to be appeased. So how come my passport was in order, ticket in order, baggage allowance inside the limit, and flight scheduled to leave on time? Too easy. I still would not believe it was happening until I was strapped into my seat, watching Heathrow getting smaller and smaller as I moved swiftly and sweetly, but not too discreetly, towards a brighter sun.